18 minutes after the hour, the super automotive executive Bob Lutz, who was vice chairman of General Motors and spent a lot of, I think he was Chrysler Corporation as well, and he's a real wild guy, real adventurous sort of fella. He will join us later this week. A campaign watchdog group says in 2010, $23 million were spent on political ads that went unreported. It's the Michigan Campaign Finance Network, and they say the state has a weak election disclosure law. And so we will talk with Rich from the Campaign Finance Network tomorrow morning on the program. Find out how did all this advertising get through without being reported. The report said 3 candidates in 2010 won elections without spending any of their own campaign funds on the ads. Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, Supreme Court Justice Mary Beth Kelly, and Democratic gubernatorial nominee Virg Bernero didn't spend any of their campaign money on the ads. Everybody else financed them. So Rich Robinson will join us tomorrow. Since 1893, people have been eating and drinking at Grand Rapids Brewing Company, but they won't be doing it anymore after this weekend. It's a 118-year-old restaurant. It is being shut down by its ownership group, and no word on why. But the restaurant is on 28th Street near the Center Point Mall, and that'll be that. So if you want to make one last visit to the Grand Rapids Brewing Company, you better do it before this weekend. A Battle Creek woman says her husband's ex-wife tried to harm her by smearing a letter in peanut butter. The Battle Creek Enquirer says the woman told police she's allergic to peanuts, and she's asking for assault charges to be filed. She said she found an envelope in the mailbox addressed to her husband with a note on the outside that said it had peanut butter inside. The ex-wife told police she wasn't trying to hurt anyone. She just wanted the wife not to read her husband's mail. How about that? So she sends a letter. She knows the wife might look at it, so she smears it in peanut butter and writes on the outside, "Do not open. There's peanut butter in here." And the wife says that she was trying to, it's not anthrax, it's peanut butter. Stocks were mixed at the close on Wall Street yesterday, up and down day for the major indices. Investors continue to worry about the slowing economic recovery. The Dow was 1 point higher, S&P was a fraction of the point higher, and the NASDAQ lost 4 points. We never let the birthday of a beautiful woman pass without taking note. Yasmin Bleeth, remember her? She was on Baywatch, Titans, Nash Bridges, and soap operas too. She's 43 years old today. Happy birthday, darling, to Yasmin Bleeth from Baywatch. She was the brunette. Pamela Anderson was the blonde. And Yasmin Bleeth, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is true, she got arrested in Detroit somewhere near the airport in Romulus and taken to jail because I remember seeing a mugshot picture of her. She was pretty heavy into drugs at the time. And though she's a pretty woman, it was not a pretty picture. Speaking of beautiful women, Cheryl Freeborough from Hyundai of Lansing, super automotive car dealer on the other end.
I was hoping you'd say something sweet like that. Thank you.
We had news that new car and truck sales expected to pick up steam in the coming months. The NADA, National Automobile Dealers Association, says an improving credit outlook and lower gas prices are going to help increase sales. Do you think that's true?
I think it's absolutely true. I think the banks are starting to slowly, we've seen them starting to slowly, approve more and more people. So we're seeing that, and we're seeing the customers starting to take a breath and want to buy the next vehicle because they're feeling, things a little bit more positive. So I think that's very true, yes. We're seeing it in our business. That's why I'm here in South Carolina. I'm in Charleston, which is gorgeous. I'm looking at the river. Yeah. And it's because we get sold our quota of vehicles, and our customer satisfaction is through the roof. So I think that the car industry also knows that they have to take good care of customers as well. And I'm so excited to have Bob Lutz on. He's a great person.
He
actually gave me my first award when I got the Saturn stores.
Is that right? He's kind of a wild guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I've always found him to be very nice and very cordial. He's a little different than the rest of the guys you see in that industry. He seems more genuine.
Yeah, and he's like into speed and race cars, and doesn't he have, or he did at one time have a Soviet jet fighter that he used to fly around Ypsilanti in?
Boy, I don't know about that one, but I wouldn't be surprised. He seems like an adventurous man, and somebody that smart that can create. He created the great designs that we went through with Saturn. that passed on to Chevrolet. He was a person that really was ahead of the mark on design and new design. So I think he's a great innovator.
Well, I'll be very curious to see what he says in his new book, and he's obviously outspoken.
Yeah.
Also curious to know what he thinks about, Mitt Romney sort of overcoming that. When he comes to Michigan, everybody keeps asking him, why did you have an op-ed piece that said, let Detroit go broke? And we talked to Daron Levin a little earlier from Fortune magazine. He's covered the auto business for the New York Times, and he said that's a very unfortunate headline is what it was, that Mitt Romney's claim that they could have gone through a natural bankruptcy instead of a government bailout is pretty solid. But whoever put the headline on that story is what did Mitt Romney in that case, because that's not at all what he said.
Yeah. I haven't heard the true story of what he actually said. You probably know better than I do. It'll be interesting to see what Bob Lutz thinks of that. Yeah. Also, I think you're very right. But yeah, car sales are really on the upswing. I think customers can feel comfortable with the interest rates and the kinds of prices. The price is very much in the news right now with what are the best prices. In fact, USA Today had a great article about the best price and the best quality family small car. I have to say that because the Elantra came in first. But the Cruze was next, and the Focus was on the list as well. So a nice group of vehicles.
I am test driving the Hyundai Sonata. It's right in front of our American Metal Roof studio right now. It's got 35,000 miles on it, so it's pre-owned, but it's got that Hyundai certification and the extended powertrain warranty to 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
And
10 years, 100,000. There's not another warranty like it. You can't have quality. The company would go broke warranting a car for that length if the quality wasn't there. Yeah. And they anticipate the quality to be there, so that's a good sign.
You can get it for less than Blue Book value at Hyundai of Lansing. Cheryl Freeborough, when she gets back from South Carolina, will be smiling when you get there. It's less than $20,000 right now available to you. Just go to HyundaiofLansing.com. Wherever you are in the state of Michigan, they'll even deliver it to you. And you can shop online, of course, too. Michael Patrick Shields back with the Answer Man right after this.